They're not watching you out of admiration. They're watching you the way a wolf watches a limping animal. Not to praise you, but to measure how long it will take before you collapse. In this world, cruelty doesn't always arrive with a snarl. Sometimes it wears a smile. Sometimes it sounds like a compliment. And often it shows up right after you open your heart. You were taught to be open. But what if that openness has made you easy to decode? What if the parts of you that you think are lovable are the exact parts being studied, exploited, copied, and broken down? Manipulators aren't drawn to your strength. They're drawn to your silence when you feel hurt, your need to explain yourself, your instinct to fix instead of question. They see your guilt before you even feel it, and they use it like a key. This is not a fair world. This is a world of silent power plays, unspoken hierarchies, and psychological warfare. If you walk through it unarmed, armed only with honesty, kindness, and openness, you're not noble, you're exposed. Niccolo Machiavelli once said, "One who lives by pure virtue will be destroyed by those who don't." This isn't just a warning, it's a declaration. From this point forward, you don't react, you calculate. This isn't a motivational speech, this is a weapon. Let's begin. The most subtle and devastating defense is the mirror response. Manipulators hate being seen for what they are. They thrive on asymmetry, on you reacting while they remain untouched. But what happens when you start reflecting instead of engaging? They say something confusing, vague, loaded. You say nothing. You raise one eyebrow. You pause. They dig into your past with fake curiosity. You turn the same question back at them, word for word. Now they're on the spot. They feign kindness to bait you in. You return it, ice cold and limited. You give no emotional fuel, just formality and distance. You're not engaging. You're placing a mirror in front of them, and most people cannot stand to see their own reflection. The manipulator loses control the moment the conversation becomes symmetrical. They rely on pushing, pulling, bending. But when you reflect instead of react, their tools fall flat. A real-world example: someone provokes you in a meeting, subtly undermining you in front of others. You don't snap. You don't defend. You simply say, "That's an interesting observation. Why did you feel the need to say that?" That one sentence, calm, cold, mirrored, shifts the entire room. Next, the emotion vacuum. Manipulators don't win with facts. They win with feelings, or rather, your feelings. They will bait you with a joke that stings, or smile while delivering a subtle insult. And the second you flinch, explain, or even shift your posture. They know they've got a hook in. You've stepped into the emotional arena, and in their arena, they always win. But if you remove the arena entirely, if you respond with absolute stillness, no emotion, no defense, just unreadable silence, they lose their footing. Imagine this: someone mocks you publicly. You don't laugh, you don't frown, you simply stare at them, gently tilt your head, and say nothing. Let the moment sit. Let it rot in its own awkwardness. Their words now sound louder in their ears than your silence. Emotion is their weapon, but your stillness is their downfall. Here's what they'll never tell you. When you go emotionally silent, they panic, because manipulators don't know how to navigate fog. They only thrive when they can see you, when your feelings are clear, predictable, readable. You're not a broken radio anymore. You're dead air, and dead air is terrifying to someone who needs control. Strategic delay. This is where you take control of time itself. Manipulators rush. They demand answers. Now, why haven't you responded? What's taking so long? Because the faster you move, the less you think. But when you pause, when you deliberately delay your response, you introduce doubt. You control the tempo. You break the rhythm. Imagine someone texts you, I need an answer now. You wait, not 1 hour, 12, maybe 24. They send a second message, a third. You've said nothing. But they're unraveling because now they are reacting to you. This tactic isn't rudeness, it's reprogramming. In person, even better. They push, they demand a reply. You pause, you look down, you take a breath. You say, let me think. And suddenly they're fidgeting, over-talking, over-explaining. They're exposed. You've turned the tables without ever raising your voice. Let's talk about praise and guilt, the two oldest psychological traps in existence. Wow, you're so good at this. No one else could do it like you. That's not a compliment. It's a setup. Or, after all I've done for you, this is how you treat me? That's not honesty. It's emotional blackmail. In both cases, they want control of your self-perception. So what do? You flip it. You execute reward reversal. When someone praises you too much, you nod politely. You move on. No big reaction. No thank you note. No glowing smile. You're showing one thing. I'm not fed by your approval. I already know who I am. And when they try to guilt you, you keep your voice calm, your expression neutral, and you say, not this time. That's it. You walk away. The less you explain, the more powerful it becomes. Guilt only works if you're seeking redemption, but you're not seeking anymore. You're deciding, and that changes the game. Understand this. Manipulators crave validation. They feed on your reactions, your need to be seen, your urge to be liked. But when you become the source of validation, and then, without warning, restrict it, they spiral. You've just reversed the power flow. In a team meeting, someone takes credit for your idea. Everyone looks at you, expecting outrage. But instead, you say calmly, I really appreciated Sarah's input on that part, and then move on. You've just stolen their spotlight without a fight. You didn't explode. You redirected the stage. This is how quiet power moves. It doesn't argue. It redefines what deserves attention. Now let's talk about one of the sharpest tools in your psychological arsenal, ambiguity. Clarity makes you readable. And if someone can read you, they can predict you. If they can predict you, they can manipulate you. But ambiguity, that makes you dangerous. Someone asks, what do you want out of this? Don't answer directly. Say, it depends on how things evolve. They ask, why did you say that? You shrug. I'm still processing it. Short answers. Calm tone. No over-explaining. Let them feel the unease. Let them wonder. Because when people can't locate you emotionally, they start projecting their fears, desires, and confusion onto you. And in doing so, they reveal themselves. Be the one in the room that doesn't need to fill the silence. Be the one who listens more than they speak. Be the one who waits. That silence, that unreadable calm, that's your new armor. It's called being unthumbable. Even your body language can be ambiguous. Don't always nod. Don't smile just to smooth tension. Don't lean in unless you mean it. Let them earn your warmth. Let your interest become a reward, not a default. In relationships, when you're always available, always expressive, always clear, you become expected. But if you pull back now and then, if you stay warm one moment, unreadable the next, you become mystery. And mystery creates value. Even in leadership or negotiations, ambiguity is dominance. The one who speaks last usually wins. The one who reveals less controls more. And if they ask again and again for clarity, don't give it. Let them sit in their own fog. Now, here comes the final kill shot, the exit threat. This is not about being dramatic. It's not about shouting, blocking, or slamming doors. It's about becoming untethered. The manipulator's greatest illusion is that you won't leave, that you can't leave. that you need them. So they keep pushing, testing, squeezing. But the moment you detach, quietly, completely, you become a threat. You say, I'm not tied to this. I'm here because I choose to be. That can change. Nothing makes a manipulator panic faster than someone who isn't afraid to disappear. And here's what they'll never admit. The one who can walk away without warning holds all the power. Real world, your partner crosses a boundary again. Instead of arguing or begging, you go silent. You say, all right, and vanish for 2 days. No calls, no explanations, just space. They don't know if you're gone for good, and that uncertainty is a fire they can't put out. Or you've been mistreated at work, sidelined, overworked, dismissed. You don't rant in meetings, you don't gossip. You simply take your time, make your plans, build your value. Then one day, you hand in your resignation. Calm, final. And you walk straight into a better future they never saw coming. That's power. That's psychological oxygen control. And here's the core of it all. It only works if it's real. You have to actually be willing to let people go, to not need their approval, to walk away not to punish, but because you've outgrown the trap. If you truly believe your peace is more valuable than their validation, no manipulator can hold you. Don't explain your boundaries. Enforce them. Don't defend your silence. Live in it. Don't chase closure. Be the one who ends the chapter with stillness and clarity. And finally, master level play, the art of playing dumb. They think they've outmaneuvered you. They mock you subtly. You smile faintly, say nothing. They try to corner you with baited questions. You pretend not to notice. Meanwhile, you're cataloging everything. You're not naive. You're strategic. You don't interrupt their game. You let them get comfortable playing it. And when the moment comes, when it matters, you flip the entire board without blinking. If you've made it this far, you're not just scrolling, you're searching for something deeper. Thanks for trusting me with your mind. If this spoke to you, like the video, hit subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to reclaim their power. Until next time, stay sharp and think deeper.